Hello and welcome back to the Birth of Venus channel. My name is Z, and today we're going to ask the tarot cards, what is it that's your superpower? What is that special quality that you have that nobody else has? Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so there are likely going to be messages for many different people tuning into this energy. So take what resonates with you, leave what does not. And yeah, please be sure to subscribe so that you will never miss when I post a video. Okay, let's get into the message. What does Source want you to know about your power? So we got four cards that came out right away. We have the Four of Cups, we have Death, we have the Three of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Swords, and they're all upright. Okay, what I'm seeing actually, especially the way that everything is laid out. So with the Four of Cups here, I'm kind of taking this as you're an alchemist. Like when something happens and it leaves you feeling disgruntled or kind of like, four is a very stable energy, but it can also be stagnation. So when you're feeling like you're not really happy with your position in life or your lot in life, or the energies around you, you turn on your alchemist vibes like instantly. And the Death card, that's Scorpio, that's transformation. So I see that you have no problem with integration. You're a very integrated person. You have looked at yourself in your shadow and you've gone to the underworld and you've transmuted this energy here. You've transmuted this energy into the Three of Pentacles, into being more of a teacher, I see. And that's not even necessarily like, you may be a teacher by vocation, you may teach people. Even I'm getting that there might be some people who do some kind of like metaphysical teaching. Perhaps you're maybe, teaching people to read tarot, or teaching people to get in tune with their intuition and actually like decipher what that means, or understand the messages that they're getting so that they can commune with their spirit team or their guardian angels. That's for very specific people. And part of the reason why I get that is with this Knight of Swords. So I have a flood of energy and these thoughts are all coming in at once. So it might be that, you are very swift in your thinking, and that helps with the transformation. And you being a teacher is like, you use the way that you think, which is different. Like, you think in a different way, you have a different perspective, and you're able to share that with people. And you've transmuted what has been sometimes thought of as not necessarily being good, because this could also be other, I'm kind of getting like other people projecting things onto you. For a very specific group of people, I feel like you might be neurodivergent. And so you have a different way of thinking, but that's allowed you to become this alchemist, this incredibly powerful alchemist who can really transmute energy, because you understand that when things happen, negative or good, it's just energy, and you really know how to work with patterns. And that's been something that's allowed you to make these big transformations in your life. And you might have a platform where you share this with people, or like I said, some of you are having courses that you're teaching. We have the Emperor that just came out too. So yeah, you're a very sovereign individual, and you have such a strong will. And that's really a lot of what alchemy is too. And this transformation, like I mentioned before, you're no stranger to the underworld. You're To become the Emperor, you have to be an integrated person. You have to know your shadow so that you work with it and it's not working against you. Like, a lot of people, they don't like the Death card, but I think it's a misunderstanding of the energy. And whoever is watching this video, I feel like you're very comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that's to say that you've probably gone through multiple different transformations at this point of your life. You've become so many different versions of yourself at different times that now your will is so strong that you know when you set your sights on something, when you focus on something, you have a laser vision, and it's only a matter of time before that thing materializes for you. I also got the Two of Swords. So I'm reading that as like right now because it kind of came up sideways when it flew out of the deck. And right now, the challenge is perhaps there's two viable options that you see that you could take right now. So there's two possible paths, and you're not sure which path to take. I'm hearing you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. So these are both things that you really want to achieve or experience in this lifetime. And it's about not so much like, oh, I can't do this if I do this. It's more like, which one am I going to do first? Which one suits what I'm calling in right now, or the area in life that I'm trying to experience more of. For some of you, that could be a love thing. Could be like you think that pursuing this relationship properly might get in the way of like you having whatever goals that you want to achieve outside of love. You might think that they can't like coexist, because with this Emperor energy, it's like this laser focus. It's like, I'm focused on this one thing, this is what I want to achieve, and then now you're seeing two things that you really want to have at the same time, and you're like, I feel like, because this came out in reversed, the King of Cups, you're like denying yourself some kind of emotional fulfillment, because you feel that you need to be working on your material fulfillment. With the Ten of Pentacles at the back of the deck, that confirms for me that you can have both. If this love connection, if this is what it really is for you, and this is supposed to be like a reading about what your superpower is, and I'm kind of seeing that like it still is this alchemy. It's this ability to hold a vision and have it materialize. I think that that is your superpower, and almost that this reading was to remind you to think bigger, to think, instead of thinking like, oh, I have to do one or the other, like these two can coexist. And if I start looking at it from that way, like, how do I make these coexist? How do I find the balance in my life? Then the solution will come, and the means of achieving that will arrive. Two of Wands. I see the Two of Wands as a more grounded fire energy. And as this man is looking out into the horizon, it kind of, and he's holding what looks to be like a mini globe in his hands, but I think there's like grapes or something on the image. But I've always thought of this as like a mini earth, and I kind of think that that's relevant here. It's the action that you're taking to shape your world. And I'm hearing that song. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 For a lot of people, I think you grew up not really having the best examples of how to balance life and work and love and work and relationships and connections and all of the other requirements that life puts on us, or that we put on ourselves, really. But I'm seeing that you're going to be the person who can break this pattern. You can have both of them. I was thinking a lot recently about how there's so much pressure, especially on people who carry more masculine energy, to like achieve and have like, oh, I want to have all this stuff before I have a family, or before I have like a romantic interest. Like, I'm just going to bury my head. And you always hear that too, like, oh, son, if you become successful, like the women will follow, or like something like this. This is just like a very heteronormative way of talking about it, but understand that it's energies. At least that's how I interpret it. And I'm kind of seeing that, you know, that's what you grew up with. And it, like, I kind of lost my train of thought. I was saying that they put a lot of, oh, yes, a lot of pressure on masculine energies to achieve their goals before they have all these things. Like, you have to have the castle and then you get the family. But, you know, a long time before, what would happen is like people would be inspired by their connection to somebody else. And the reading that I did before was a lot of that energy, like someone being inspired by somebody else, and that really allowing them to level up in their life and achieve their goals. And sometimes, like, when you're with the right person, I think it makes achieving your goals a lot easier instead of like you feeling drained. So when you have the interpretation, I just saw 1111 on the timer as I was saying this, when you have the idea that relationships are draining or that they require so much sacrifice and effort, then obviously you're going to think that it's not feasible to have both, and that you have to achieve one thing and then have a relationship so that you can kind of like focus on other things that can happen that way. But I think that there's a paradigm shift in both working and what it means to earn an income, and conversely in relationships. And you're going to be one of the people that's like on the cutting edge of this, of like you and your relationship and what you're able to achieve in terms of your financial goals and your external goals, aside from your relationship and your family, but also the way that you're able to like have them both coexist. Like, you're going to be somebody who's like smashing the paradigm of what we think that could be, and you're on the cutting edge of like people being like, that's what I want. And so you have to go after it and actually start living that way for reality to shift into this and come around and be magnetized to your will so that you can actually achieve this and inspire other people to do the same. Like, I think sometimes we think we have to pull other people up and like help other people, and definitely like you should share your blessings when you're in a position to do that, but you should also never forget that living your authentic self, being who you are authentically, living your life authentically, that has ripple effects in the universe and allows other people to pick up on that energy, and then they start either wanting to or implementing that right away just from like experiencing your energy. And sometimes it's not even people who know you that much, but they just like pick up on the vibes, and it changes them. And I have the Hermit in reverse. So I'm kind of seeing this as like, yeah, you definitely have to step out of this energy. I feel like there have been relationships that you could have seen as viable, and for whatever reason you denied yourself that because you're like, oh no, I gotta focus on this other stuff. And like, definitely, if you have like toxicity and emotional confusion, which the Eight of Swords at the back of the deck kind of, for me, signals like that could have been something that was at play in the past, but you've really been working on your shadow. You're aware of it now. We started this by saying your superpower is that you've integrated your shadow and that you're a powerhouse of alchemy. So you're in a really good position to be in a love connection if that comes up, while also pursuing whatever it is that you want to do, especially if it's something that's more in like the healing space and it's kind of like different. I think your success will really come from you like living out your passions in both your public and private life. Okay, so we got a couple of cards from the Thoth Tarot. We got the Prince of Wands. And this one reminds me a lot of like the Chariot in the traditional tarot that we all know. This is a beautiful card. I love these cards. And see, it's like this energy of rushing in and like charging, but I'm hearing the song Rushes 2 by Frank Ocean. um First I was rushing for a wave, this time I'm waiting for a rush. Infatuation's your rush. Yeah, like I don't know, I feel like you have your sights set on someone. We have the Aeon. I don't know if I think I pronounced that kind of weird. But I always think of this card as like there's some kind of past life connections or like deeper connections. Think like red string theory. So these two cards together, I feel like there's something, there's going to be like a very strong pull that you feel towards someone or something, and then you gotta really like follow that with that fiery Prince of Wands energy and like concentrate your energy towards achieving that thing. And when you feel pulled to something, like you should trust your intuition on that and like give it your all and not hold back. We got the Tower too in the back, on the back of the deck. Again, such a beautiful card, like that all-seeing eye on the top there. It's like the eye of God. Yeah, I feel like you have been sitting on something because you didn't feel that it was a possibility. And I'm not saying that this reading is the only thing that's revealing for you, but because you're such a good steward of energy, sometimes you have blind spots, and I think this is like supposed to be illuminating where you still were holding onto some blockages or negative thought patterns that you really need to release. And like that's the call right now, is to go deep and kind of think about how you're supposed to create a new way for these things to exist in your life simultaneously. Pleasure. But it came up reversed, but I felt called to flip it. But it's like you have been denying yourself pleasure, and now we're writing those energies or putting them upward because you're not going to do that anymore, are you? Okay, let's get one more of these cards and then I'll go into my oracle. The Emperor again. Yeah, like your will is so strong, but if you're not conscious of the things that are holding you back, because I feel like you're someone that you're really good at bringing into the reality what you want to experience, but then there's been something that you've been cooking up and you've been having a hard time. And it's because there were blockages that you were not aware of, and now you're being called to work through those. Okay. So I'm going to take a card from the Indigo Angel Oracle deck. What is this person's superpower? What do you want them to know with this reading? Because this took such a turn. You already know. So yeah, you already know what you want. I think kind of the reason why some of you have been feeling this way is because you probably met somebody that really made an impression on you, and you've been kind of like, oh, but I said I was going to do things, but you're already in your divine purpose. So if you feel intuitively drawn to someone, like they're a part of your purpose too. Maybe together you guys are really going to work on something, and what you thought you were doing, like what you thought your purpose was, what you thought the thing you were creating to add value into the world was, maybe it'll shift and become even bigger with this person too. So that's like something to think about as well. We're going to go with the Divine Feminine Oracle and see what energies are pertinent for this collective right now in terms of the Divine Feminine Oracle. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, we got 3 cards. So we got the White Buffalo Calf Woman, the Prophetess of the Sacred Way. My heart is a compass. The path of love is true abundance. That's so fitting. And it's like what I was talking about. It's like this person or this love is a part of your divine purpose, and love brings abundance. And then we have Ariadne, mistress of the labyrinth. My soul knows the way, and the only way out is through. So we need to work through these blockages because your soul is guiding you towards where you're meant to be. You got to trust that. We have Saraswati, the goddess of self-knowledge. The essence of who I am flows effortlessly into everything I create. So this kind of is reminding me to tell you, like, what is for you cannot miss you. And like, it's just like, you thought, oh, I gotta wait on love because I gotta focus on other things. But it's like, if something is really meant for you, like, even if you try to push it away, the universe will like have ways of like nudging you towards it. You won't be able to get it out of your head. Maybe you're running into people or things that remind you of this person if you already have a connection. And then I took the Greek mythology reading cards, and the one that came out was Persephone Transformation. So I'm going to read to you what the book says about Persephone. As a young girl, Persephone was abducted from the arms of her mother Demeter and forced to wed Hades, lord of the underworld. Eventually, a deal was broken in which she spent the growing season with her mother above the earth and the winter season below ground with her husband, where she ruled the underworld as queen. As a young maiden, Persephone symbolizes youth and innocence in all things. Her story teaches us that we must all experience life's hidden mysteries and then mature into that which we must become. For deep in the earth seeds prepare to germinate and expand. Their time in the cold and dark is necessary, for they will soon grow, as Persephone does when she lies with her husband, taking innocence into maturity and adulthood. You may now feel as if you are in an underworld, but you know that your soul is unconsciously preparing for new wisdom and a fresh cycle. Soon rapid growth will help you see the light. Like, that's what we were talking about. It's like you have this very underworld coded energy. It's like you are Persephone in a way. Like, you live above ground, but you've also spent seasons in the underworld, and perhaps you're preparing to come out of an underworld season now with the wisdom that you've experienced, and that's going to help you on your divine purpose and help you realize that there are creative ways of achieving what we want, and sometimes we have to completely throw out or overturn old paradigms and create new ones. And you can do it if anyone can. So I hope that you found this reading helpful and that it resonated. Please let me know in the comment section below, and please feel free to subscribe and like, because it helps me out, and I want to keep doing these videos for you. So I hope that they find the people that they're meant for, and that you find value in it, and you let me know as well. And if you want a personal reading, please feel free to contact me. I have my email address in the description box, and yeah, we can go from there. All right, much love.